Here is Madison Cawthorn's definition of a woman. X chromosomes, no tallywhacker. And this gives me a chance to talk about biological essentialism.
T-shirt.
It is a system of oppression. Gender is a hierarchy and a system of oppression. And the easier it is to define gender, the easier it is to keep the oppression going. It's dangerous.
Man, them pretty blue eyes with that lipstick and beard, man. That's a total mind fuck.
So yeah, apparently, you know, gender is just oppression, okay? We all need to realize that. But anyway, hello, so my name is Lauren. I figured I would just fill in for today, but it just seemed that there was so much to talk about that I told Craig, you know what? Don't even worry about it, all right? I can take care of this girl. Don't even trip. I'll just go ahead and talk about the things that need to be talked about today. But man, my boys, the Hodge twins, of course, they talked about this woman, I guess, that wanted to let us all know that gender is nothing more than a system of oppression. But also, like my good boy Miggy here pointed out, I am also here to tell you that yes, it is a system of oppression. I realized, right, I did this video, I don't know, well, I keep saying me, but it wasn't me, it was Craig. But we did this video like a month or so ago talking about, you know, gender ideology and stuff like that. And it made me realize, from all the hate and negative responses I received, it made me realize that not only was I too masculine and black, you know, I can't be using that BLM card because I don't stand for such things, but it made me realize that I was what I truly was deep down inside, and that was, I am a cis Mexican white woman, trapped in an oppressive masculine black body.
What? What the f?
I'm getting older, my body's changing, and that's not something I'm going to apologize for.
I wish you would. But other than that, let's just get on to the show, because like I said, apparently gender is nothing more than a construct, and none of us really need to worry about such things. And you should teach your children that when they are born, they're not who they think they are, and they aren't what you thought they were. They are what they want to be in due time. But as this person had so blatantly put out, yeah, I guess we're all just here, right? We're all just forms of each other, and we're forms of things that we just wish we were. But anyway, let's get on to the bigger topics, because like I was saying, where you should just teach your kids about nonsense like this. I don't know if you're aware, but Tyra Banks, you remember Tyra Banks? She was America's Next Top Model host, because everyone was fucking in love with that show. But, you know, she is getting together with Discovery Plus, and they're apparently doing a show about child drag stars. It's like, why would you need to make a show about stuff like this to show our kids this? Can't we just let our kids be drags if they want to be drags? Why do we have to show them other children being forced into dragness by their parents? Because I don't think they chose to do it. Maybe they did. You know, maybe they did just be like, Daddy, I want to join drag dad chula. What is it called? Draguante. What is that? Like a gigantic drag show. It's so just icky. I can't. It's so hard to keep myself in character to discuss things like this, but that's why it's topic number 1, because topic number 1 is supposed to be the hottest, because once you get through number 1, it's all fine from there. It's like Amber Heard in trial. It's like, once you plead insanity, everything will be fine, girl. You just gotta be insane, and then Johnny Depp will probably just forget about it, because he's already probably grown back enough of his finger, and he's definitely changed the sheets from, like, the shit stain you done left there. But, you know, everything will be fine once you plead insanity. So what I was saying was, yes, the child drag stars, it's gonna be this new show on Discovery Plus, and it's just like, really? Like, I know that they've had all these other documentaries and shit where they're trying to show these parents trying to bring their kids into society as these drags and saying that this is what they are and this is what they want to be, but it's not. It just isn't. These are like kids, like these are little babies that have like their own thoughts and their own minds that they're trying to grow. And yes, as adults we're supposed to shape them, but we're not supposed to pervert them. In schools they're trying to teach sex ed and shit to kids, and that's going to be like a course in colleges and shit, but they're trying to just like teach that to kids, and they're all excited about it, and they're just like, oh.
So I want to offer one resource that I'm going to drop in the chat from my website. So me and two other trans-identified high school teachers put together a language guide. Our site is called genderinclusivebiology.com. And some things that we come up on a lot are for teaching about cell division or reproduction. A lot of textbooks, a lot of existing teaching will say, well, women produce eggs. Males are more likely to be colorblind. The mother carries the fetus for this many months. And some ways that we can show our support for trans and non-binary students are just to clean up that language, be more precise. We can be more accurate and be more inclusive. So I would say, no, it's not women that produce eggs, it's ovaries that produce eggs. That's accurate, that's precise. We're acknowledging that not all women produce eggs, and also not all egg producers are women, for example. And we're teaching students that language matters. We're not just talking about imaginary people and living things, that our language impinges on the people in our classroom and in our community.
Are you serious?
Terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors. I've definitely heard the idea that you brought up, though, that the use of the term minor attracted person suggests that it's okay to be attracted to children. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction.
No. I just want to be all sexual with these kids because apparently this is the shit that they need, and these are the things that they need to be taught and they need to see in, fucking kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth grade. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, once you're in sixth grade, you're probably a lost cause, because at that point you can watch and do, a lot of things and talk to a lot of people about things that would be of sexual orientation natures. But once it's actually being taught by someone and actually being forced and shoved down your throat, it's just not as easy, and it's just not right. And the fact that they're going to be diving into this drag show and all of it's gonna be nothing more than, oh yes, of course our kids love drag, and of course our kids want this, and of course we want this for our children, and of course there's already articles coming out of these weird gay families that just have these kids, right? And the kids are, they try to make them gay or whatever, but as they're growing older, they start getting heterosexual traits, and it's like the parents are like, oh no, what am I gonna do? My child's not turning out gay. It's like, are you serious? Of course, they have to grow into who they are still. You can never. That's it's practically fraudulent in the eyes of psychiatrists and psychologists who have to actually tell people that, yeah, you know what? This whole time you were a woman. This whole time you were nothing more than what you were and what you thought you were.
The past 10 years of coming out as gay, then queer, then non-binary, then trans. And so I tell my dad, and he goes, well, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant. And I said, oh, no, she would be getting me pregnant. And that still intimidates me a little bit. So I'm gonna keep calling myself a girl. Hope that's okay. Love ya.
It makes no sense. And to have kids doing this dragante shit just shows that society is getting a little weird, and it's getting a little messed up, and I feel like it's hard to put the shoe on the other foot when you have someone come up and you're like, oh, well, I was a man the whole time, or I was a woman the whole time, and then you have these alphabet community people dogging on them saying, no, you can't just all of a sudden change. And it's like, well, you did. Just because you found enlightenment some way doesn't mean that someone else can't find enlightenment another way. It's not fair. Anyway, but yeah, so that child drag show is going to be ridiculous. And I believe it's going to be called, but I don't really care. But I read it from Bounding on the Comics. So, we'll have to wait and see if it gets canceled. But as far as I'm concerned, if Cuties was able to get canceled and banned, I don't understand how this isn't able to get canceled and banned, because all this is going to do is pervert the people who think that it's okay to have relations with underaged people / kids. So, you know, again, I don't know where this is going, and I don't know how this is going to benefit society, but I don't like it, and I think it should not happen. But anyway, on to topic number 2. So one of my favorite shows, Slightly Offensive, they had an episode a while back, and they had this trans person on that said trans vaginas, or vages, I'm sorry, are superior to females.
Men don't want to call post-op trans vaginas because they're scared to admit that trans vaginas are superior in every way. It's tighter, it smells better, it tastes better. Sorry to say, girls, but gentlemen prefer trans.
Now, me, as a cis white woman, and I've always been a woman, I cannot say that is correct, because looking at myself, I realized that maybe my tallywhacker was left in place. But if I was to surgically, you know, bring that inwards, I can't imagine it being any better, or smelling better, or being better. Like, I cannot see how that surgery would make that be a better thing. And like I said, maybe I don't know, and I need to learn more. And when I eventually have enough money to go through with my surgeries and have all my things go down, maybe I'll get the answers that I so wishingly wish I could have. But until that day, I probably will unfortunately never know. But I can tell you one thing, that I just don't think that is true. I think that is very false. I think that is a weird perversion of thought that it's just freaky. Like, I don't understand how you could think that, or even if you had it out inward and you brought it outward, like, you know, most toxic men will say that, yeah, their junk doesn't smell the best, and it's like it's a common trope among, you know, men's to be like, oh yeah, like, our junk isn't like the best, but of course we're gonna try to make it smell good during the time of, you know, insertion. But to say that it just is better if you were to create one is like, nah, okay, unless you're gonna install like a air freshener in there, there's nothing that could actually make that smell better than it would if it was always there. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so that was very interesting. I love Slightly Offensive, and I hope that show just goes as far as it can go, and I hope it gets its own channel, like, on the telly, and I hope it gets its own everything, like, just that show. And Elijah Schaefer and Sydney Watson on You Are Here, they are the best. Watch them if you haven't. Oh man. And now we get into the meat of this video, which was the topics that I found extremely telling of how and what direction our world is going in. But biological men that are now trans women performing and participating in biological women's sports, I think is just not fair. It's just not fair.
By obliterating her competition, the women's swimmer is inspiring female athletes everywhere to know that they'll never amount to anything unless they used to have testicles. How did this swimmer, named Leah Thomas, destroy her competition so easily? Well, scientifically speaking, she's just a woman who swims much faster than all other women. Let's take a look at the details. The Daily Wire reports that Leah Thomas, who used to go by the name Will Thomas for some reason, won the 200 freestyle by 7 seconds, the 500 freestyle by 12 seconds, and the 1650 by 38 seconds. Now, if you're like everyone else in the world and therefore don't inherently give a about swimming, then you should know those are astronomically large margins of victory. Some would say impossibly large margins of victory.
I know that, you know, you can have your arguments of like, well, they're women and they want to perform and do things that women do. But look, I gotta be honest and I have to be straight with you. If I was to just go and play in a woman's sport, I shouldn't be able to do that in good conscience, girl. I shouldn't be able to go and play against women in water polo or tennis or basketball or football, soccer or anything and say that I am as good, if not equal to, the other females on that team. It's just weird, right? It's just weird. It's the same as a woman going into male MMA or male wrestling or male track and field and losing because she thinks that she could win, and then complaining that she is being oppressed because she is a man. When it's like, well, hey, you transitioned into a man, so how are you saying that you are oppressed now? That's not fair. You can't change sides and then say that you're being oppressed when you were always on the other side oppressing that side. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or, well, I guess not oppressing that side. You know, it's weird. Like, how are we getting to that where we're just allowing people like myself to just join women's sports? You know, how is that a thing? How is that beneficial and progressive to society? I mean, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's what's going on right now. And, you know, trans women are going into men's locker rooms, and, you know, they got their tallywhackers and extremities hanging out, but hey.
Here is Madison Cawthorn's definition of a woman. X chromosomes, no tallywhacker. And this gives me a chance to talk about biological essentialism. First of all, it's not true. People have all kinds of chromosomes and all kinds of bodies.
It's not like anything bad could happen. It's not like any lives can be created in such an environment, or lives can be altered because there was a trans prison inmate who got transferred to a woman's prison facility and impregnated 2 female inmates. And it makes you wonder, how exactly did that happen? How exactly was that able to go down? Like, and it makes me wonder too, because you know, girl, that the female inmates were like, look, I've been in here a long time, right? I've been in here like 10 years. And you're telling me, girl, you got and I could just ride that in here? Like, and of course the guards probably don't care, because the guards are just like, and it's like, okay, now you got those 2 prison inmates that have kids. Or maybe they're going to have abortions, because that's like totally a thing in the air right now. But it just makes me wonder that if they had the kids, man, how would that family story be told? I'm not saying that it would be a bad thing. They'd probably be like, oh yeah, your mother was the best. She got me good. And then I had you in the Southern Correctional Facility of Montana, or whatever the fuck this place was. I mean, it like makes you wonder, like, for a lot of people, it's like, what could be worse? You know, Elon Musk owning Twitter, Donald Trump becoming president, your daughter being attacked by a biological male in the women's bathroom.
Day 8 of being a girl, and I've gotten some messages that are saying that I need to be calling myself a woman and not a girl. And I didn't even know that some women were offended by being called girls, so that's really good to know. But for me, the word girl feels great because I never got to be one growing up. And it feels very able to make mistakes and growing and changing and evolving, whereas the word woman feels very strong and confident and powerful.
Or having your son be told in school that it's okay to believe that your friend Charles is actually your soulmate and that it's okay to be gay. Or in college learning that porn is actually beneficial and we need to teach that to elementary school students. I mean, I don't know. A lot of the world just seems really crazy. And as I sit here struggling with my own identity and my own feelings and my own thoughts towards the world, I realize that, hey, all of us just want to make the world a better place, right? We all just want to have fun. Girls especially, but we all just want to have fun, and we all just want to do things that make us happy. But anyway, this has been Ghost and the Lauren, because Craig's not fucking here. But he'll probably be back for obvious reasons. And, you know, definitely check out Matt Walsh's new book, What is a Woman? Because not only is he the best-selling LGBT book author out there with his amazing walrus story, but now he's really taking it to the woman. And he will be finding out what it is to be us women. So definitely look into that. And other than that, you guys have a fantastic evening. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys some other time. Because it's very rare that I come into the studio here. I don't really enjoy this because it's so much. It's really a lot. But I get a kick out of it whenever I do get to go on because, you know, it's fun and I appreciate Craig. So thank you. And all of you guys have fun. And, you know, or is it me that I'm thinking? Or that I am? This whole gender ideology thing is just so ridiculous. I forget what and who they are. Anyway, deuces. Oh yeah, did you guys hear about the new Barbie movie? I mean, she's white. Why isn't she black?
While my comments and accusations may be wrong, off base, and harmful,
baseless,
I do, however, cling to the very real possibility that there is not only a kernel of truth. I see you choked back a yawn. Am I boring you?